Welcome to Double E Elevating Entrepreneurs. I'm here tonight with a returning guest, which is super exciting. Our first returning guest for Double E, Nehal Kaiser. He is one of the co-owners and founders of Blue Hammer Roofing and Solar. Why don't you go ahead and say hi to everybody?
Guys, how's it going? It's an honor to be back over here and super excited to chat with my girl again.
Awesome. Super happy to have you. So tell us a little bit, last time you guys, he was on here almost a little over a year ago, and they had a lot of growth. They were just starting into the solar division. So walk us through some of the growth that you guys have had in this last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you again for having me back.
Yeah,
we've had a lot going on since. We tripled in size as far as the company goes in terms of our people from when the last time we were here. So that's been pretty exciting. We opened 3 more offices, so we're also in San Antonio, Houston, and Austin now. So that's been pretty exciting, and obviously in addition to Dallas. And of course, we started up solar, and I think last time I told you, it's the future, right?
Yeah.
It's already transitioning east. There's a mandate out in California, but that by 2030, essentially everyone's got to go solar. So there's some pretty exciting things coming, and we're able to help people out. Right,
awesome.
Which is always a big thing because you never want to sell a product that's bullshit, right?
Absolutely.
Or that's not going to serve your community because people will know quickly. And we can serve our community, we can take care of our people. It's a win-win. So it's been excellent.
I love that. So so you tripled in numbers. So what's the size of your team now?
We're at about 148 people right now.
Wow.
So
That's quite impressive. That's awesome. Very cool. And what made you guys get into solar? Why solar? Why is it?
I'm a big believer, and so is the rest of our executive team, that it's just the future. Why not, right? Because here's the thing, right? Right now, it's a subsidized entity, essentially meaning it is government funded, right? So they're doing 26% tax credits, and there's just a lot of things in place that are actually going to help out the homeowner. Because one day, I do believe it will be unsubsidized, and the government will not pay for it. So it's like, hey, why don't we take advantage of it now where we can actually help people and take advantage of what the government's given us?
Yeah.
It was just a no-brainer for us. So
I love that. So how did you guys get into solar though? Like walk us through that.
Yeah,
like, what did that look like?
Absolutely. Well, the cool thing is this, right? There's a direct correlation with roofing and solar because what goes on a roof? Solar panels,
Yes.
right? And as we're also, pitching solar to people, they also need new roofs. So it was just, it just the synchronicity.
Seamless.
It was just, it only made sense. And, again, that transition was so easy. I've known a bunch of people in the solar industry already. So I've had a bunch of great people that have helped us out with that transition. We've had people fly in and do some training with our people. We're actually going to be training a different company next week. So the cool thing is like we're all able to give, and givers give. Right,
Yep,
and that's what we're here to do. So it's been incredible.
That's awesome. I love that. So you said you expanded into other markets. How did you guys do that?
Look, it was a lot of things that went into that. And that's been really fun because for me, that's something I've never truly done before. I've done it with the previous, my previous endeavor, but I wasn't really like too responsible for it. I was just like, hey, go there, go start this thing up, go handle it. And that's what I would go do.
Right.
So this time I'm on the other end where it's like, hey, here's how we're going to strategize. I'd get with the executive team and we'd piece together a plan. It only made sense the other big 3 markets, besides Dallas and Texas.
Yeah.
But it required a lot of scaling, right? And I know we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah.
And that scaling involved hiring people that were excellent at things that maybe we weren't that excellent at. And understanding that, hey, we don't have all the answers. But sometimes you can bring in an expert, someone who's done it, right? So I'll give you an example. We hired someone temporarily to be a part of our customer experience program. So what that customer experience program, Elizabeth Marie, is, it was something designed for us to really figure out how our customers feel about us.
Okay.
So we can say they feel great about us, but how do we know?
You don't unless you get feedback.
Yeah, and direct feedback from the customer, right? So we hired somebody who had a background in customer experience, and they would call customers and figure out, hey, how do you feel about Blue Hammer? Hey, how did we do? How was the project? How was the person that was in charge of taking care of you? And it gave us some really good quality feedback for us to move forward and transition into other markets. We hired a director of operations that helped put some pieces in place. And then, we did a lot of leadership development in the buildup. And the bulk of the credit goes to our team. We've got some incredible players on our team. Seriously,
awesome.
because without them, we're just a few weirdos sitting around in a room like game planning and nothing happens, right?
Absolutely.
So the credit goes to them.
That's awesome.
It's
So
been cool.
having leaders in place, it sounds like having expertise, sometimes outsourcing that to grow, and then just maintaining focus, right? Organization and having a game plan.
Absolutely. Yes, there's a strategy for everything in life. I don't care what it is. There is a strategy for any and every situation that's ever presented to us.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to figure out the strategy that you're going to take, right? So right now we're in a position where like trillions and trillions of dollars have been printed over the last 15 months, right? And 40% of the money that's ever been printed in the history of the U.S., right, back to 1776 when we were founded, was printed. 40% of it was printed in the last 15 months since COVID and all the rest of it, right? Wow. And I'm sharing this because the rich got richer, the middle class got richer, the poor stayed poor. And it's crazy because strategy. The poor people, and I don't mean that in a bad way or a funny way, but like they got the money, they got the stimulus checks or whatever it was, and they put it right back into a lot of silly things that just fed the people that had already a ton of money. And a lot of that's because they don't have a strategy. And a lot of middle-class people actually came up because they did have a strategy, and you're going to go do this, and you're going to go do that. And people like you who are elevating others are they're able to hop on, a YouTube or a podcast and be like, oh, cool, I can do something like that. And it's just wild. So strategy is everything, and that's what's helped us grow in our business a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And to summarize, since I know we cut out there for a second, but we were talking about how, he grew in 2 different markets. Last time he was on here a year ago with Blue Hammer, they were just like experiencing solar, just kind of like starting to get into it. Now they've tripled their numbers from a team of about 50 at the time. I remember that. And they were super pumped about that. And now he has like a team of like almost 150, which is amazing growth. So that's incredible. And now they've expanded from just the Dallas market to Houston and then Austin, Texas. And so he was saying he showed the growth to just kind of having a good team in place, having people that want to take ownership, having a game plan, having the strategy, and then outsourcing. Sometimes you have to go outside for experience, for what you guys need. And so no matter what your business is, whoever's listening, or what you're trying to accomplish in life, sometimes you're not an expert at everything and you have to go out there and find it. And then he was also mentioning about clients. So like, how can your business get better? You need to get feedback. And so feedback not only from your employees, but also feedback from your customers. And he was talking about how they were literally doing that. And that's how they were getting a lot of this growth, which is really exciting. So, so if you want to kind of continue, I just want to summarize since we got interrupted there. And we appreciate you guys hanging in for that.
That was brilliant. That was a great summary. Couldn't have said any better. And so experience, right? What I was saying about experience at two meetings ago, I went around the room. It started because someone asked me, they're also in the roofing division, and they're like, man, like, how are you doing this? And I'm not able to do it. And there's only one answer to it. I can say I'm outworking you and I'm this. It's not. I just have experience. That's it. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that, right? So my previous endeavor, I was there 10 years, right? And look, there was times where...
significant, actually.
Yeah, it's a long time. And I'm only 25, so do the
decade.
math. I'm kidding. I'm not 25.
Yeah, I know you're not 25. I'm not going to say his real age, but I know his real age.
Do you?
Yep,
that's what I'm talking about, girl. 26. Thank you. That's all okay. Good. Don't worry about it.
He's on the anniversary of his 21st birthday.
That's
times 10.
Stop.
Plus 10.
What? No.
Oops.
Yep, absolutely not. So anyways, what I was saying is, I went around the room and I asked my guys, hey, how many of you guys were with your previous company for 5 years? Raise your hand. And a bunch of them raised their hands, right?
Right.
And then I was like, hey, how many of you guys were with your previous company for 10 years? And you wouldn't believe. So we had about 7 people in that room who were with their previous company for 10 years. And let me tell you something. Every single one of them, without fail, is a top performer in our business today. And that just tells you the power of experience. Because here's what happens, especially nowadays, right? The moment you get passed up on a promotion, the moment your boss maybe says something to you that kind of rubs you the wrong way or you get offended, the moment when maybe you have a bonus yanked from you, the moment you get asked to do something that's just above and beyond, we get in our feelings and we're like, you know what? No, they disrespected me. And look, I know there's scenarios where that happens, but I had to thug it out for 10 years. And everyone else in that room who also did that is highly successful in our business. They are all in leadership roles, every single one of them. And it's not by coincidence. And I think part of that is just staying the course despite what's going on. Yeah. Because I think for me personally, I just outlasted a lot of people. I don't know if I was really that good. I really
you were
don't.
committed. So it's commitment, consistency, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because nowadays we're the same way in a relationship, right? Like you see it a lot. It's like the moment like your partner does something and it rubs you the wrong way, and it's like, you know, maybe you've got some open wounds from a previous relationship and they do something that really rubs you the wrong way. You're like, you know what, screw this, I'm out. And it's like, come on.
Good things take time.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, I mean, just like, you know, we were talking about dream building earlier, and we're going to get into, we were talking about this, how he got one of his dream cars in a little bit, a Lambo. So for a lot of you guys are probably going to love that. But for anything that you want in life, to get that, I will tell you, he wasn't inconsistent. He wasn't not showing up to work. He wasn't, you know, calling out when he didn't feel like it. No, he was showing up all those times. He was committing to something despite not seeing the results. And I'm sure you can talk more on this since it's your dream car. And I want you to get super passionate about it. But it's true. Like, you know, good things don't come easy. They take time. They take effort. But it pays off. Yeah,
it always does. It always does. I'm going to share a story about that. So since I was 13 years old, right, I always said I was going to get a Lamborghini. And I said I was going to do it when I was 30.
I love that.
You know, when you're 13, thinking about 30, that's like light years away. That's like a gazillion years away, right? Like I'm 30, like
years and years.
It's so far away. So I just I said it, not knowing what it really meant. But you know, as the years came closer and closer and closer, it was like I never forgot that promise I made to myself, and I think that's where a lot of confidence comes from for a lot of people when they say they're gonna go do something, and then they go out and do exactly that. And that's what it was about for me, where I said I was going to go do something at a very young age, and I had to do it. So it's my dream car. Look, if you're not into cars or whatever it is, that's all good. It's not even about the car, honestly. It's about me making a commitment, saying I'm going to do some shit, and then doing everything I can to make sure that shit happens.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about. And it's been absolutely amazing.
How did it feel when you got it? Was that surreal? Like,
yeah, it was
a crazy experience.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't know how to act.
Like, pinch yourself.
Yeah,
is this real life?
I didn't know how to act. There's like a video of me, someone asking me, "Hey, Kaiser, smile," and I didn't even know how to smile. I was just so in the moment. I looked ridiculous. I looked back at the video. I'm like, what the hell am I doing with my face?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah. But it was just like I was in a different place up here because for me, I've had that car since the day I said I was gonna have it. I've had it up here.
Visualization.
So, yeah, it felt familiar.
Yeah, because you already knew it was yours.
Yeah, it felt familiar. It felt familiar. So.
Yeah, we're gonna show you guys the car later. So. Definitely.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually really cool.
It gets me from A to B.
When I first pulled up to do the interview, I saw the car and I was like, oh, it's the Batmobile.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, it's awesome though. It's very
Thank you so
nice.
much.
But that's incredible. Well, high five for getting like your dream car.
Let's go.
That's badass.
Let's go. You're next.
Yeah, amen. I received that in the dream house, in the trips, and all of it. And y'all can too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just work at it. But yeah, that's amazing. So, what's the fastest you've gone? Can you tell us? There's no cops listening.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Yeah, not that fast, like 206.
Oh, no big deal.
Yeah,
holy shit.
It's
to me, that's fast.
There was no other cars on the road. There was no other cars on the road.
He was safe.
Yeah, absolutely. He was definitely safe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How was that? That felt probably crazy.
My mom's probably going to listen to this. Can we edit? I mean, it is what it is at this point.
No, it's live. You can't edit it live anymore.
Oh, shit. Well,
sorry, Mom. Yeah. He meant he went 20, not
exactly. There we go. Yeah, it was. I mean, you know, you got tunnel vision at that moment, right? Like, I wanted to. I love speed. I've always had motorcycles and fast cars and stuff like that. I'm not doing this in and out of traffic. I'm not that guy. No. But yeah, it was just tunnel vision. I've made better choices in my life. Don't judge me, guys.
Yeah, but typically you probably don't go that fast.
Nah. Just on my way up here, but that's it.
No big deal. Yeah, I gotcha. That's it. That's awesome. So tell us, you know, obviously you're building a culture. You're building, Blue Hammer. What is important to you in a culture, and how have you guys increased your retention?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of things that are important in a culture. First things first, your core values, right? Like one of my old friends, mentors, told me a long time ago. He's like, "Man, don't mess with no mother effer with no backbone." I'm not gonna say the word, but everybody understands what that word means. If not, I'll be more than happy to translate. Would you like me to translate?
Sure.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm just kidding.
And pretty much what he was saying is, don't associate with people who don't stand for something, and will fall for anything.
Absolutely.
So I feel the same rules apply to a business, right? Where if someone comes to Blue Hammer, they got to know what our core principles are. When you walk into our office, there's a huge banner the size of that back wall, or if you guys can see this wall back over here, actually it's much bigger than that, but it's that size of that wall, and it has our core principles and who we are. Because your core principles are there to, guide you when decisions get tough. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to handle this? It's actually very simple. Just look at your core principles. The answers are right there. Because if we as a business don't stand for something, then under the right circumstance, we could fold, right? And I feel like especially a lot of young men definitely need to do that, right? Business owners, women, whatever, everyone needs to do it because we don't know what we stand for.
Right.
And that's dangerous.
It is, because you can be swayed really easily.
Correct. And with money probably being the biggest thing, right? Especially in business. We're doing... we're on pace to do $100 million this year. So for a company our size, like money can, it can change things very, very quickly. So I'm going to share a story with you. And no, hardly anyone in our company knows this besides our executive team. We got a market leader with us. Yeah. It's going to be special. So we got a market leader. Yeah, it is breaking news. We got a market leader that's on our team. And he's a guy that I've known for probably 5-6 years. He's an amazing, amazing dude. And last year, I was running through like what we're paying out for bonuses and, pay and all the rest of it. And I was looking at this guy's pay and I was like, man, based off the numbers they've done, his pay looks kind of low. So we sent it back to our accounting team. I was like, hey, can you please get me some answers on this? Why is this way? So we looked at the Excel formula that we had in the initial spreadsheet and it was off. And we owed him a couple dollars. Like $80,000.
Oh.
Yeah. And
wow, that's good.
It was actually, it was a lot of people like, damn, really? What'd you do? Our first core principle is family. How can I say this guy's my family? And our third core principle is loyalty. How can I be loyal and make sure I not call him immediately and tell him, hey man, we owe you some money. And he was like, oh, I didn't even realize, because he trusted us. So we got to return the favor. So anyways, he had a beautiful Christmas bonus that came in and we were like, hey, that's it. And then we threw a few extra $1,000 on top of it just for the wrongdoing that we just felt bad to make things right. But I feel things like that are super, super important when it comes to business and especially when it comes to relationships and money. And when you have a culture of that sort where like you catch it and you fix it, I think we're onto something. And I think that's a big part of, who we are and how we're growing, taking care of our people.
What do you think what are y'all's values?
We've got 5 core values. Number 1 is family. And that's making sure we got each other's back despite. Doesn't matter what it is, we got each other's back. That doesn't mean we don't fight, argue, disagree, because we do all of that and we hold people accountable. But at the end of the day, if one of them hits me up and said, hey, I got into it with my lady, can I come crash at your place? Yeah, come on. You can do that, whatever. Number 2 is tough, honest love. Tough, honest love is the kind of love you give to friends that you really give a shit about. When like someone's making a bunch of bad decisions and they're going down the wrong path and you're worried about them, you pull that friend aside because you've got nothing but love for them and it sucks because you got to be the one. But they respect you so much more because you were the one that had courage to address it with them. But it's all in love. It's like, hey, I got your back, and this is why I'm telling you this. Number 3 is loyalty. Loyalty is like trust and respect. It's earned, it's not given, and there's no time frame on it. Like, I could trust you the first time I meet you, but maybe someone else, it may take me a year, maybe it takes a month. But it's over time, it's just developed, right? And it's always tested in its darkest hour, right? Where in the sense of whenever things are tough, at work, at home, whatever it is, and there's a more attractive option on the table, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
That
How
is
do you
loyalty.
act?
Yeah, that's the true definition of loyalty. It's not when things are great. It's like, hey, when you're feeling some type of way towards me because I had to be tough with you, how are you going to go talk behind my back?
Right. It's like what you do when no one was watching.
Yeah, that's
your true character.
That's loyalty. Number 4 is Extreme Ownership, which is a book by Jocko Willink, an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yes, amazing. I met them.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yep.
That's phenomenal. And that's, hey, everything that happens around us, to us, is on us. I don't care what it is on you, and it's okay to make mistakes in our business. We actually welcome the mistakes because those are good learning opportunities. Own it. Don't you dare point a finger at nobody else, right? And just don't do it again. Yeah. It's all good. Like, no mistake is like end of the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's extreme ownership. And then our 5th one is the pursuit of excellence. We are, Elizabeth Marie, we are not in this thing to be number 2 to anybody. We are in this thing to be the best of the best in everything that we do. It doesn't matter what it is. We got into solar. We're going to be the number 1 solar company. By the end of this year, we're just going to continuously grow to be the biggest roofing company and the baddest roofing company. The last 2 years now, we won the Top Choice Roofing Company Award 2 years in a row.
That's awesome.
And we're going to win it this year, and we're going to win it next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. It's not going to end. Because for us, it's not about being the best version of ourselves, because that implies that there's an end point.
Right, and there isn't.
There isn't. It's about being the next version, because that's constant evolvement, right? And that's essentially what it is. I feel like some people are, goal-driven, and some people are growth-driven. And I feel like for us, we're growth-driven, because that also implies there's no end.
Right, because goals will end. You'll hit the goal, and then you have to set a new one. Absolutely. But you can always be growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that kind of mindset, I don't think we can ever go wrong. I actually got a cool acronym to share with you today.
Yes.
You ready for it?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
It's called VALUE, okay?
Okay.
And V stands for vision. When you are a leader, you must share your vision, and you must paint that shit like Pablo Picasso himself. You know what I mean? Like, it must be so vivid clear. And so clear. Yeah, it must have every minute detail and every color and everything you could ever imagine is in that picture that you paint. So people can see your vision, what you're after, what you're going for, so you can make them believers. Because without vision,
you perish.
Yeah, like what are they looking forward to, right? The A in VALUE stands for academics. And I'm you know me.
Yes, I'm a huge reader.
Yeah, I read, and I told you this last time. It's not because I actually like to read. I just love the benefits of reading, right? So if you're not challenging your people to read, you're a step behind, because a lot of the answers to be successful lie in these books. And just like the answers to history lie in a lot of books that a lot of people just won't, go look into. Yeah, they won't do it. So the same thing with success. There's so many books out there on money. If you don't know how to manage money, you're not financially literate, go read, go pick up a book. You don't know how to lead teams, go get a book by John C. Maxwell or Jocko Willink. I mean, there's 1,000,001 books out there. Yes. You're not a good salesperson, there's a gazillion books on sales. Challenge your people to read. L stands for leadership development. And leadership development is a huge one, and that's contributed a lot to us scaling. Because if you aren't developing your leaders, someone else will. And you got to be super mindful of that, because your leaders are your frontline people, right?
Right.
So they're actually more connected with everyone else that's out in the field than you think you are. You may think, no, I know. No, trust me.
They're the face of your business.
Yeah, and take care of them, develop them, add value to their lives, So we meet once a week, and it is strictly on leadership development. Literally anything and everything, how to hold people accountable, how to set goals with them, how you should conduct training, the list goes on. The U is understanding yourself, because you got to know you're not great at everything.
Right.
And there's certain things that you probably suck at. And there's definitely things,
myself included.
Yeah, I'm high on that list.
Not perfect.
I suck at a lot of things. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I suck at a lot of things, and I'm actually totally fine with it. You know why? Because I've got amazing people around me that compliment me, and people will never know I suck at it, because it's almost like they're protecting me.
Right. It goes back to what we were talking about with expertise earlier. Sometimes you And that's the beauty of a team.
Yeah.
Or partnership or outsourcing.
Absolutely. The better you understand yourself, Bruce Lee said it right, the better you'll be able to understand others. And just understanding yourself, because at the end of the day, if you can't be victorious in your own battles, how will you ever coach someone on how to have victory in their battles?
You can't.
No, absolutely not. So you got to deal with you first. And then the E is for education. And it's not the same as academics. I'm going to tell you what I mean, right? Education to me is doing things like personally, I joined a mastermind, right? Paid a lot of money to be in this mastermind. And I'm learning about, finances. I'm learning about taxes, cryptos, NFTs. I'm trying to rake it all in so my people can focus on their mission and I can focus on our big mission. And then when I receive that information, you know what I do? I come back and I share it with my team. Hey, here's some stuff I learned on crypto. Hey, here's some stuff I learned on this and things I learned on that. And if I can't relay the information well, we have guest speakers come out, and I bring in the experts. Hey, I just talked to one of my buddies who does he does a lot of work in the financial world, and he sets up SEPs, IRAs, and retirements and all the rest of it, right? And life insurance. I'm going to have them come train our people on just what that means, the tax advantages, right? How to set up for your future, because our people got to know these things.
Yeah.
Because it's not out there just like easily accessible at all times.
Well, and then at this point, you have to find reliable sources, like this podcast, like his business, because he's being advised by other people, and people that have experience, that have success, the people that are on this podcast that are represented with the Double E Network are people that are actually doing the things that they're talking about. So it's about, reliability of that information as well.
100%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so true. That's awesome. That's really good stuff.
Yeah, thank you. We got to take care of our people.
Yeah, I love that.
Right?
What is a big mistake that you've seen people make in scaling business, and what are some things that you guys wish you had done better that you obviously have figured out at this point?
Yeah,
because you're growing like crazy.
I hope so.
No, definitely. But what are some things that could help others that are trying to scale their businesses now?
I think one that we made a mistake on is everything comes at a cost, right? Everything comes at a cost. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything comes at a cost. And I feel the mistake we made is because we were so focused on wanting to grow and scale, because we've got monster goals and we want to impact the world and we want to change lives. It's tricky to because you're so focused on the growth, you neglect other things. And I feel like for a very short period, and thank God we caught it quick enough, I feel like we neglected our culture a little bit along the way, which is something that's very so near and dear. Yeah, it's something that's so important to me. So it hit me different, because it was like, how am I so big on this? But when you get distracted and you're focused on the big vision, the big picture, you got to make a decision. Either your culture is worth that much to you and, find a better balance, or keep growing, keep going, and that may go by the wayside. And to us, that just wasn't an option. So we just went back to our roots, which was recruiting through our people. So even till now, even the size of the company that we are now, 90+% of our team was brought on by someone else that was already on our team. So, and that's just, I feel like hopefully is a testament to our culture, because it's like a happy customer, right?
Yeah.
If they're happy, they refer you. Happy people do the same thing in their business. So that was a big mistake I feel like we made early on, but I do feel that we caught it in just the nick of time, and we got back to like, nope, let's reshift this.
Yeah.
And thank God, because our again, you pull away our people, that's our most valuable asset.
Yeah.
We're just a few weirdos sitting in a room. I'm not even joking. I'm telling you, I swear to God, I mean it. So
yeah, that's so true.
I feel like that was a big one.
So speaking of your culture, what do you think helped you guys grow such a strong culture? I mean, other than you said you have, obviously you have core principles, and I think that's a huge factor. But I also see that you guys get together and kind of celebrate things. You think that has helped your culture?
Yeah, for sure. Look, one, you got to get to know your people. You gotta connect. You gotta connect, because at the end of the day, if you don't connect and there's not some form of a true relationship, they feel like they're just an employee and you're just a boss.
Yeah,
and
they're
that's
just a
it.
number.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's exactly what happens until they go find someone else who treats them better. I mean, it's literally like being in a relationship, right?
Yes.
Like if you don't date your woman or man weekly or whatever your thing is, or you don't make them feel special and you stop doing the little things that you once did, like, come on, we know what's going to happen.
Right, absolutely.
Like the same rules apply in, what we've got. Who we hire is super important. We've passed up on a lot of talented people because we didn't feel like they had the heart. We just feel like from a principal's perspective, they weren't ever going to be able to be who we want them to be. So in our interview, we run through our 5 core principles, and either we're going to super excite you, you're going to be like, I want to be a part of that, or we're going to scare the shit out of you and you're going to be like, yeah, these dudes aren't, I don't want none of that smoke. Yeah. I just want to make some money, dude. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's a different company. We're not the company for you.
But I think y'all also hold your people accountable. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people don't want that.
Yeah, it's tricky. People don't want that, but they need that.
Right.
We all need accountability.
Oh, definitely. I 100% agree.
We all need accountability. Yeah. And then, like the events, we like to celebrate our people. We like to give out awards. We like to dress up nice and rent out ballrooms and have big parties, rent out DJs, pay for everyone's food, invite their spouses. That's who we are, right? Like if we're going to work our ass off all year, hell yeah, we're going to celebrate a few times in between.
Of course.
Like, we have to. We got to celebrate our people.
Yeah, you got to celebrate the victories too, because otherwise it just becomes a little bit monotonous. You know, if it's just all work and you don't have the moments to enjoy those wins.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps people motivated as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the ways to avoid burnout.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things I was telling my guys, and it's not just through, galas and events, but I was recently having this conversation on how to avoid burnout. And I feel like one of the biggest things is set a goal, accomplish that goal, and then take that money that you just earned or whatever it is, and go take out your wife for, go do a weekend away. Go do an awesome dinner. Go spend that money on her because she's also been having to deal with it. And if you've got kids, they've also have. Go to Disney World. Go celebrate. Go take a week. Go take a few days, whatever it is. Come back, recharge, motivated. Let's go get it. But if you don't celebrate in between, work, you hit a burnout stage. There's what is there to look forward to?
Right.
Those small little breaks go a long way with people. Right. They really do, including myself and you too. I know you like to travel. We've been seeing where you've been going. Yeah, you've been traveling all of Europe. Yeah, so you know what's up.
I love Europe. Yeah.
You're gonna live there one day.
Absolutely.
You're gonna live there one day.
Absolutely.
For sure you will.
I know. I feel it.
I'll come
I mean, I'm French and German, so it's in my bones.
Yeah, exactly.
I have family in Paris. So.
Do you? Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Excellent. I'll come visit.
Yeah, so it's meant to be. But yeah, that's so true. And I think we were talking about something earlier too, which I'd love for you to share, because I don't think enough companies do this, especially smaller businesses, although yours is getting bigger, which is becoming a medium-sized business. But investing in your employees' mental health, can you tell us about that and why you guys decided to?
Yeah, my people told me I was crazy, so we had to do it. No, I'm kidding. So they
were about to lock him up.
Yeah. So what it was is I always tell my guys, I've always felt like 80% is psychology and 20% is mechanics, right? 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. So if I'm saying that, that means I clearly value, the mental aspect of the game, right? So as I thought about it, it's like, hey, how can we make sure our guys are good? And I told you this before. There is no such things as business problems. There's just personal problems that seep into the business. That's it. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of those problems come from issues in a relationship. A lot of times they come from addiction, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. And those things seep into the workplace, right? And then why do those things happen? Because of people's childhoods, their youth, the trauma that they've been through, the things that they've seen that they've never dealt with, because we've always been told, yo, deal with that shit. Look, where I come from, my people, it's like that. You don't talk about these things. It's, deal with that shit, figure it out, and keep it moving. And I've lived my life like that. And I've been okay. And I've seen a lot of people, though, they're hurt. And I can look someone in their eyes and I can see pain, you know, and it's probably because I've looked in the mirror a lot and I've seen what pain looks like in my eyes when I'm going through things. So it's a very familiar look, right? So when I talk to people, I'm looking in their eyes and I'm just like, yeah, you're going through something.
Dang.
And
intense. It's got me in the feels right now.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna look into my soul, guys.
Yeah, it's too late. I already know. We'll talk about it after.
Shoot. I'm just kidding.
So, but I know what it looks like because I've been there, right?
Yeah.
And if I can use my resources and help my people out and help them fix the things that they've got going on personally, it'll not only impact our business, but most importantly, it'll impact them forever. And my goal here in all of this, look, everything I do, I feel I do 10 to 15% because of myself, because part of it is selfish, right?
Right.
And the other 85, 90% is for everyone else. Like, that's just the truth, right? Like, because anyone who says they do something 100% for someone else,
everybody wants something.
Yeah, look, even if it's feeling good, because I do.
Yeah,
I do,
it doesn't have to be physical, like money or like a service. It could just be, the feeling.
Good. And I'm entitled to that. I deserve that, and so do you.
Or recognition.
And you deserve that if you do something special. You know what I mean? You are 100% entitled to it because there's 1,000,001 people out there who aren't doing that.
Well, back to psychology, humans are motivated by multiple things.
Yeah, absolutely.
and there's some motivation behind every action.
Absolutely, right? And for me and our team, it's important we take care of this. Look, as salespeople, imagine how crazy we are for a second, right? We go climb roofs.
Yeah, y'all are
like
crazy.
for a living, right? We go knock doors for a living. We go sell solar, for a living. Like, yeah, we need help.
Y'all are like little monkeys up there on the roof.
Yeah, we need help.
Y'all are nuts.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm afraid. That's not something I've done it once. I did Habitat for Humanity, never again.
Yeah.
I was like shaking up there and they're like, we're gonna have you come down off the ladder and paint the porch. And I was like, sounds like a great plan. I was not about it. But I give you guys kudos. I'm just like, that's not my style.
We gotta, look, we say we want to take care of our people.
Yeah.
Take care of your people. Figure out new ways to push the game forward. That's our saying at Blue Hammer, where push the game forward, do things that have never been done, and set the trend. So I'm hoping the people that follow me on social media, the people that are listening on here, if you're a business owner or whatever it is, if you have some form of an influence, connect your people. So we pay for 1 session a month for every person that's on our team.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's just it's worth every bit of it. Because if they're good up here, we've impacted them forever.
Yeah.
Whether they're with us 5 years from now or 5 months from now or 10 years from now, it doesn't matter. Like, our goal is to leave an impact on people. So then one day they look back and like, you remember when we worked at Blue Hammer? Or maybe they're running our business and being like, man, what gave me that extra edge is when these guys made the decision that they actually gave a shit and they wanted to show us beyond the traditional way. So we got to push the game forward, Elizabeth Marie, if we're going to impact the world like we say we are, right?
That's so true. And I think it's so important too because, like, you've been saying, Neil's been saying is, if you're good up here, you're going to be more productive as well, So, like, if we have so many mental battles happening in our own heads every single day, and if you have something real happening in your life, like, not that others don't, but, like, something intense, something overwhelming or traumatizing that it's preventing you from being productive, absolutely having someone to talk to is so important. And I just think it's awesome, and I hope more people kind of follow in y'all's footsteps doing that for people and for their employees, because I just think it's so underrated and so important.
Yeah. For everyone listening, it doesn't mean you got issues.
No. It could just be
but we all have issues.
Right.
Come on.
If you've been through life, you've gone through something.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, the goal is to get better. That's it. And whatever that means to you, right? It's about 0.00001% better. And for me, that is 0.00001% better. Because if I can tap in here even more, what am I capable of?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to be unstoppable. While the guy who thinks he's all perfect or gal who's got it all figured out, I'm getting ahead. So whatever your motive or reason is, it helps. So,
absolutely. Yeah, I think
Check
it's
it
so
out.
vital.
Check
yeah,
it out.
yeah. Thank you guys for providing that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I think it's very important. And if you guys feel like you are in need of that, definitely, check out some resources. I know there's some websites that provide some cheaper therapy options as well. But it's definitely important to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, so you can be the best you for yourself and for others. So I think it's really important.
100%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So Blue Hammers continue to grow, continue to evolve, getting into solar. What do things look like as you've been growing into Atex and Houston? Like, how has that been for you guys? Are you guys branching out? Do you have, teams here and there that are kind of running those smaller locations? Or tell us a little bit deeper about that process.
Yeah, sure thing. And San Antonio.
Hey, can't
like
forget.
That. Yeah, SA,
visiting all the major cities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm going to tell you why. We've got market leaders that run each market. And then we've got quality control managers that manage all the projects and the customer service side of things. Okay. And we've got 8 people in Houston. We've got 9 people in San Antonio. And we've got about 18 people in Austin. And that's just the sales side of it. And then we have our quality control team. So you add a few people more on each side. So we've got at least 10 in each market. We'll obviously have our subs and all the rest of it. Our suppliers are great too. They make life super, super easy. And it's cool because we're starting to develop a lot of relationships in the market, right? In the communities. So our business is turning into referrals as well, where we take care of one person and they're referring us. So these are turning out to be full-on operations.
That's amazing.
And yeah, it's again, people.
Yeah.
Just got some good people.
And you've grown all through word of mouth, right? You guys have never really done any advertising. It's pretty much, you tried for a little bit, you said, but you went back to that original recipe because it's been the most successful. And why would you say that? For people trying to grow and scale their businesses, why stick with word of mouth?
I liked it. I think there's many different ways to do it. I'm just going to tell you why it worked for us and why I like it. I liked it a lot because solid people know solid people, right? 100%. And people on your team, if they value you, your business, and your relationship with them, they will not put you in front of people that are suspect. That's the bottom line. They will not put you in front of people that are going to compromise or jeopardize your business or your brand. So why not have someone that already understands the culture, understands who we are, what we stand for, what we're about, and it's coming as a referral from someone you already like and trust. Those are the best people because now that new hire is already accountable to their friend because they don't want to let them down. And then the person that referred them wants to make sure their name stays good, right? And they maintain their reputation, so they're on top of their buddy. So it's like a buddy system. Going back to like elementary school, right? Like this that's business.
Yeah, and I think it's just more trust there as well because that person that's referring knows they know each other, so they can genuinely ask real questions about what the culture is like, what it's like to work for you guys or whoever it might be. What a day in the life looks like, different things like that. And with, trust, it's a lot easier to get those better connections and find a better fit for the team as well, I'm sure.
It makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
And honestly. Then you trust the referral too, because you're like, okay, if this guy is that good with our business and he's going to give us someone that has that. It's
worked for us.
Yeah. Sorry. No, you're good. That's awesome. So we were talking earlier too, and I know you had mentioned STAR. So can you go into what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure thing. So the name of the game, guys, when you're running a business, you're running a team, you don't have to be running a business. You need to build a superstar team, right? And it's an acronym STAR, S-T-A-R, and I'm just going to give you the description of each one. And S stands for structure, right? You need someone on your team that is like super like OCD about the smallest things, that structures like everything, like making sure there's charts for everything, making sure there's a spreadsheet for everything, making sure there's an appointment book for everything. Someone who is just so structured that needs that. And if you are not that person, you need that person like now. T is technical. Who is your technical person, right? The person that asks all the little annoying questions, that wants to know all the annoying details. Those are some of the best people to have on your team. I say it jokingly, but those people are incredible and they're absolutely necessary. They dive in far deeper than the average person is willing to dive, and they get a kick out of it. It's amazing. And they're the ones like, hey, well, why is it that way? Why couldn't it be this way? Should we do it this way? Those people are phenomenal.
I'm that person.
Yeah, you need. So when I said those guys, okay, I maybe offended you. All right.
No, you're good.
I'm messing with you. So
I'm not easily offended.
technical people are super, super important, and they're the best in the list, right?
Yeah, they're the best.
There we go. All right, beautiful. Action oriented. You need your people that you need your drivers, right? You need someone. All right, come on, let's go. We don't have time. We got to get going. Like time's come on, let's go, guys. We got to move. You need someone who's gonna get shit moving. When there's a new, a new strategy. Sometimes, like by the time it runs through the board and it runs through people, it just takes forever. You need someone who's like, no, come on, let's go. We need to get things moving. We don't have time. You need someone that moves with urgency. And then you need someone that is a relationship person. And that's the person that keeps the team together. That's the person that's always like, hey, we should go do this as a team. Hey, you see what's up with that guy over there, man? Should we go check up on him real quick? Hey, something happened with his mom, right? She's not sick. Someone should, let's say, like that kind of person with that kind of heart is so critical.
Absolutely.
And here's the rule, guys. You as the leader must be good at all of them.
Yep.
But you must be phenomenal at one of them. That's the rule. Be phenomenal at one, but you got to be good at all of them. And that's star. And if you want to build a superstar team, that's what it takes, because at that point you are covering all the bases. And when you do that, like, you can empower people. And through empowerment, you develop more leaders. So if I've got someone I'm just going to give you an example in our business, structure-wise, right? We have to go pick out areas like neighborhoods we're going to go, knock. We're going to go hit
like
doors.
canvas.
Yeah, where we go, canvas and all the rest of it. So if I've got someone who's really great at being structured, I'll hit them up the night before. Hey, so-and-so, Elizabeth Marie, here's where I need your help, okay? I want to empower you to do this, and here it is. Will you please pick out the neighborhoods, and will you please highlight where each group is going to go to? If you'll do it by colors, preferably, but I'm sure you're already going to do that. And if you can, pick out those areas, and that's what we're going to go attack. And empowerment is this, right? I'm using my power and my influence to empower you. I'm sharing it. That's what empowerment is, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm the leader, I'm empowering you as a future leader to do what you're great at. And someone who enjoys structure, that they're like, oh my God, thank God, I've been waiting to do this shit. You guys are so unorganized. God damn it. That's how it goes. Yeah. Seriously.
I need some organization in my life.
Yeah. So
some direction.
It helps. It really, really helps. So whatever that formula's worth to you, I promise you it works.
Yeah, that's awesome. So since you love to read and you feel like you've gotten a lot of answers from books and stuff like that, will you share a couple of your favorites that you think have really escalated yourself mentally and that have been able to take what you've learned and execute it to really make a huge difference in your business? Like if you had to pick your top 3 that have really just made phenomenal changes in your business, what would you say?
Yeah, sure thing. I won't use extreme ownership again because I feel like I've
said it a few times.
Yeah, I don't want to say
that's a hot one, but
yeah, that's a great one. I'll give you a few others. Okay, so there is there's a book by Simon Sinek, and it's called Leaders Eat Last.
Okay.
And that's a thought process that comes from the military, from the Marine Corps, and literally when they lined up to go eat, you know who gets served last? The leader. Leaders Eat Last, and it is a excellent book, and it ties in a lot of the science behind leadership and creating teams and building teams, right? It's very in-depth, and it's an excellent read. That's for sure. That's up there towards the top of the list. An old one, but it changed my life. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Phenomenal book.
I know you've heard of it, and if
I've read it so many times.
Yeah, yes. And like it starts off like a little bit weird because you're like, what kind of things is it asking me to do? And if you've never practiced or heard or read that stuff, I promise you, read through. It is incredible, and it's a life-changing book.
Absolutely.
There's not a ton of books that you can say that are absolutely life-changing. That is one of them, ladies and gentlemen. The third one, I just finished a little while ago, and it's called Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David, which is an excellent read. I like that book a ton because leadership is anticipation. It's the ability to see around corners and have solutions to the things that are around corners. Because when you can anticipate things happening in the market, you can anticipate what's going to happen with some of your people because you've seen trends and you've studied and you've got experience. That's what leadership is. And if you don't have your next 5 moves planned out in everything that you're doing, you're super behind. They say a grandmaster in chess is 15 moves ahead.
Damn.
15
I can't. That's insane.
moves ahead.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So your next 5 moves, it's a really good one, and I super recommend it. It dives into
good.
a lot of like good business stuff, personal stuff, etc. So
Well, yeah, and you have to think of every scenario. Like, that's something I always think about. Like, what could go right, what could go wrong. But obviously, I always talk about the positive and think the positive. But you have to think about literally every scenario when it comes to business.
Yeah.
You know, and have a strategy.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna do.
Strategy,
Yeah.
right? Always having a plan. Always having a plan. That's gonna save you from so much headache, heartache, your pockets being hit, like so much. There's certain shit that's always gonna happen, and it's good because some of the most expensive lessons have taught us the most valuable lessons.
Like what?
Oh my God.
Share a story.
That list goes on. Look, in our business, you know, we're in construction. We're doing roofs, right? And one mistake on someone's roof can lead to a really bad leak that can lead to their, $100,000 floors that can also hit their, $50,000 couches, and it can get really, really bad. That's why you got to make sure you have procedures, SOPs in place to ensure that does not happen. You have to. Like, we have we call it a CYA list, and it's just like what it stands for, cover your ass. And our quality control managers, before the project starts, they take pictures of everything around the property, because the last thing we want our customers to say is, hey, that wasn't there. Or, hey, what's that? And we've got pictures, Mrs. Jones, don't you worry. And if it is our fault, of course we're going to fix it. But a lot of times when you get a brand new roof or you get a brand new panel or solar panels, now you start looking up at your roof because it's new. But if you don't, you're not looking up there. And then sometimes you start seeing stuff that you've never seen, and you're like, wait, what's that? So we take pictures before, and then we also take pictures after to document everything. And our quality control managers have a checklist they must complete before they leave the property. Smallest things, strategy can save you a lot of heartache. Seriously. Yeah, it can save you a lot.
I love that. So speaking of strategy and thinking like a business owner, what are some things that you think hold people back from being their best self and taking that also extreme ownership over their business or their role?
I'm going to share a story with you, right? So check this out. So the first 18 months of us being in business, which was up until August of 2021, I spent 10 of those months on the road. And I'm going to tell you, like sleeping on an air mattress, 10 of those first 18 months.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm intense.
Yeah. It's because we were, chasing storms. Yeah. So we were in Del Rio, Texas. Then we went to Lake Charles, Texas. Lake Charles, Louisiana. And we worked a hurricane. So we got to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and there was no electricity there.
Yeah,
the hurricane
I remember
just
that
hit.
storm.
Yeah, so it was nuts, right? So we had to live in a house, and there was only one property we could get, and there was 12 of us living in a 3-bedroom, two nasty bathroom place. Like, it was just really bad living with that many people, and we're all on air mattresses. And I'm sharing this story for a couple of reasons. One, the bond that we created in there and the things that we accomplished, incredible. The people we got to serve, absolutely incredible. But doing things like that is what most people are scared of. Right after that, we shot over to Austin, to Round Rock, right? And there was a big storm that hit there, so I was back on the air mattress. 10 out of the first 18 months, I was thugging it out, like the whatever it took. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of business owners or leaders make. They feel like they've got this "I've arrived" mentality. I'm the owner. I don't need to do this. Or like, I'm the leader. I don't need to do that anymore. You couldn't be further from the truth. That's when you need to that's when you need to be diving in the most. So I knew in my mind, our first 18 months, I got to do whatever it literally takes. I got to get on a gazillion roofs. I got to knock a gazillion doors, close a gazillion deals so I can show my people what it looks like. So they have a foundation, because what kind of man or boss would I be if I'm like, hey, you go up on that roof, you go up on this one, I'll wait. Come on, like.
Yeah, if you're not going to do it, the best leaders lead.
Yeah,
and that's an action word.
It is. And imagine if I would have been like, all right, cool, you guys stay here. I'm going to go get this hotel, and you guys stay on these air mattresses. And I'm going to be like,
peace out.
Like, come on.
Living like a king.
You and I laugh about that. You and I laugh about that.
Yeah.
But there's people that do that.
Oh, yeah. I've lived it with other bosses before. Or situations, I should say.
You can't do shit like that.
No.
Like, that's not the way to do things.
To get in the trenches with them. Just like the book Extreme Ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Jocko and Leaf, they took ownership.
Yeah.
For mistakes that their team made.
You're the leader. The buck stops with you. Everything starts and stops with the leader.
Right.
And when you got a leader pointing fingers, that's not a leader. That is not the leader, I promise you.
Yeah. Well, they say that when multiple players on a team aren't doing well, they don't replace the players, they replace the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
What do you know about sports?
I know a lot about sports.
What do you watch?
Basketball, soccer. I'm not a big football person. Hockey.
Those are my two favorite sports to
Olympics.
watch, basketball and soccer.
Basketball and soccer, top two. Olympics, of course, because I like, achievement and success and elite things.
Olympics are always great because people are playing for their country.
Mm-hmm.
Like when
I love
when
the
World
camaraderie too, honestly. The countries coming together, despite, I love that stuff.
And people are crying for their flags. How cool is that for their country, for their people?
Yeah.
Like when I watch the World Cup, which I'm going to go to this year, God willing.
World Cup, I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been on my list.
Like to see people like do their national anthem, sing it and cry. It's amazing to me.
Hits you different.
it is, but that's loyalty, right? That's loyalty to their flag, to their country. That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like in business, your people don't need to cry when they people aren't like crying to Blue Hammer,
Yeah.
But they should have that same level of love for the brand.
Neil, you're the best. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, I don't really get that.
Yeah.
Like ever, but.
Yeah. They're like high five man.
Yeah, all good, bro.
More like that environment. Yeah, but it's true, if people are winning on the team, but there's a few people losing on the team, like 2 or 3 players, but the majority is doing really well, they're going to replace the coach or the leader, not the team.
That's the first fool to go. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. That's how it should be in business. That's how it should be in sports. That's it.
Yeah.
Because a new coach comes in and that team magically starts winning with the
right.
same players.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened? Come on, we know what's up.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So what is on the horizon for Blue Hammer Roofing and Solar this year, at the end of this year going into next year?
Oh, that is a beautiful question, Elizabeth Marie. We have $100 million goal.
Wow.
Just, I don't mind sharing like our gross numbers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So our first year, we did a little over 10 mil. Year 2, we broke 30 mil. So we 3x'd. And we wanted to set a goal that was going to scare the shit out of us. And 60 mil was cool, right? It was like, okay, 70, 80 was also cool. It was a little scary. 100 mil scares the shit out of us. But that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
And we'll be the fastest company to ever get to $100 million in sales. And we got to do that shit. We can't say, we can't throw something out there like that and not follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to challenge us. That's going to challenge our people. It's in direct alignment with our principle of pursuit of excellence. So we're going for the gusto. We are going for it all. And at the end of it, we're going to celebrate in just extreme fashion. We're going to have a ball.
Yeah,
it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. That's our biggest thing. Long term, we've always talked about wanting to be $1 billion company.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, I love that.
Why not?
And by you guys saying that and you claiming that, you have accountability to hit that goal now.
Yeah.
Because when you tell other people, you invite them to keep you accountable. So then you're going to be on W again to talk about your success.
Yeah, we did 100 mil, girl. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll be back when we hit $1 billion too.
Yes.
So yeah.
Heck yeah.
Every big accomplishment, I'll come back. That's my celebration.
But we'll be in a different location because W is going to keep growing too.
Absolutely. Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, Europe. Sounds great.
That's
next will be Austin, so probably Austin and then Europe.
Cool. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect transition. Only makes sense. South, back up.
Yeah. Right, I know. It just makes sense, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Totally. That's awesome. Well, that's really cool. Well, I'm super excited that we got to have you back and have you share about your continued growth and your success and what you contribute that to, and phenomenal tips for people just to kind of stay on track and stay focused and, stay growing and evolving, because it's so important in business. There's a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and it sounds like Blue Hammer, Roofing and Solar has really figured that out, and they've tuned into that, and they're, basically taking that by the reins, and they're teaching their people that. And, by them having good leaders, like, I feel like y'all's business is unstoppable, because that's where it starts and that's where it stops. And as long as y'all keep sharp, you guys are plugged in with mentors yourselves, y'all are reading, you guys are executing, you're out there, in the trenches with your team. Yeah, I feel like the sky's the limit. So
absolutely, you said it. We are unstoppable.
Yeah. So exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, y'all are a force. It's good. It's really good. Well, yeah, if y'all want to join Blue Hammer Roofing and Solar, definitely contact Nehal Kaiser. He will definitely hook it up with you guys, see if you guys are a good candidate, kind of go through the interview process together. If you guys are looking for roofing and solar needs, definitely contact them. They're definitely going to explain it really efficiently, effectively, make sure you're comfortable along the process, and take good care of you guys. So how can everyone connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram is probably one of the easiest ways. My Instagram is the.Kaiser, Kaiser, and the number 1, the.Kaiser 1, and that's my Instagram. You can catch me on there. I post a ton of content when it comes to not really as much about like how a roof goes up or how that kind of stuff that kind of bores people, and it's not super exciting. But when it comes to like sharing things that I'm reading, just some good positive energy, sharing our people's success, and just anything and everything else in between. So and if you like cars, definitely the Lambo. So
yeah, he's about to go take me on a ride.
Dude, then absolutely.
We're gonna go
let's
200. 20 mom.
20 mom. Crazy. Never did that. For sure.
Yeah, totally. But awesome. Well, definitely thanks again for coming on Double E.
Thank you.
Proud of you guys and the growth that you guys have and the success, and that you're part of the Double E network. And you guys connect with my socials too. We're gonna post everything on there at Double E by Elizabeth Marie on Instagram. Of course, y'all are on YouTube. And then Facebook is Double E Elevating Entrepreneurs by Elizabeth Marie. And y'all have a good night, and stay tuned for the next episode of Double E Elevating Entrepreneurs.
Double E is the GOAT.
Yes.
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys.